Hello, everyone. Welcome to my third Othercon panel. Previous years, I did um, two panels called Storytelling and Artistry, where I just talked about story writing, story making, comic making, things like that. And yeah, I thought this year I would just put my money where my mouth is and do some storytelling today. So Um, if people don't know me, which most people probably don't, I'm Arbie. I'm a just a Waltherian, and or since seeing the original species panel, was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. I found out that I'm like a Anacuan, which is one of my original species, Therian. And yeah, this is a prequel story to my story that I've been writing for quite a while, called Ustrina Genesis, Shards of Fire, which will come out at some point. I don't know when I'll finish it, but I'll finish it eventually. Just some warnings here. Um my story has, in the words and in one section of the imagery, has some mild blood warning, so if anyone has any issues with that, just maybe not listen to this part. So I'm just gonna get right into it. I haven't done this in a while, so please excuse me if anything I stumble or anything like that. So yeah, I think I'll just start then. Thousands of years ago, in a universe far from our own, there was a land engulfed by chaos. Anarchy spilt out of the earth like flame and umber. Malice blackened the land, leaving it hollowed, full, void of life. The land of Anacria. Within it lived creatures of light and night. Seven nations, the Anaphora, lived on this sickly earth, and each nation had tribes of light and night. The south of this land lived the Shianan, the stoic and proud clan of Astrofelines. Sorry, I'm just posting the images. Yeah, sorry. I'll just start from that top. The seven nations, the Anaphora, lived on the sickly earth, and each nation had tribes of light and night. The south of this land lived the Shianan, the stoic and proud clan of Astrofelines. In the west lived the Genact, the Astra clan of power and honor. The southwest housed the Navant, primordial beings of intellect and austerity. The Yasen, the Astra Equine, the Astrin Avians, the Malwyn, the Astra Dragons, and finally, at the center of Anacria, resided the Anacuan, the Astra Wolves. For centuries, the Anacuan, Utrina, and Umbra clans, the Light and Night clans, were at war. Wolves endlessly clashed and tore into each other as beings despised one another's very existence. This is the blood warning for this image. Um. Anyway, sorry, I'll start from this. Yeah, for centuries, the clans of Anacuan, Atrina, and Umbra, the Light and Night tribes, were at war. The wolves endlessly clashed and torn into each other as the beings despised one another's very into existence. Tensions ran as old as the clans themselves, and so they forever fought over little arid land they have. The chief of the night sought to end the endless turmoil and conquer through identifying and terminating their core. Umbrazoden, a voice called out. Speak, a larger wolf responded. Our reconnaissance team has acquired some integral information. However, are running out of resources, sir. Such as, we are running out of water, sir. The river near the volcano runs drier day by day, and the rate at which we we need it exceeds the time it takes to collect and cool. As we grow larger in size, we begin to be unable to sustain the size of the clan, Smaller Wolf said worriedly. Alas, seems we do not have any choices left. We must advance. End this or die. Zian! Ha, Umbran! The guy responded. Relay the gathered info on Zian Makra. Ha, Umbran! Ziankor, on the stealth hunt, discovered some Ustrinian notation to rendezvous at the base, the far side of the volcano. So we organized two of our stronger Xian to and five other Xian to ambush the small group of Ustrina. And from them we gathered information of their head of war general. It is the son of the chief of the clan, a large Ustrinian with pitch black spines, Mika relayed. Call in my daughter. Ha, Umbran. Xian Mika, with a bow, ran off to relay the summon to the chief's daughter. Soon after, Umbran's daughter ran in with a bow. Father, you summoned me? Yoran Spectra. Ha! You must infiltrate the Atrinians. Using your abilities, you must enter their ranks and obtain information on their war plans and formations, where they hold their goods, and any other information helpful to defeat them. Ha! Furthermore, you must get close to their general. Once you become close enough, kill him. Ha! She said with her head lowered. Good. Xian! Ha, Umbran! Did the information you gathered include their rendezvous point? Ha, Umbran. Good. Relay the information to Uran Spectra and get going straight away. Infiltrate their side and take them down from the inside. Ha, they said in unison before running off for preparations. The daughter of the chief, Zerudin, was an esteemed warrior of night, often on the front line of the ongoing war, but also in the zenith, stealth, and assassination. Her brilliant black fur aided in cover and protection. However, her greatest weapon was her shape-shifting. Any DNA she consumed could be replicated and transformed into. The addition of her greatest assets together made her the most feared Umbrian warrior. The Umbrian warriors' reconnaissance team gathered together to plan their next move. Spectra addressed the team with power and authority. Umbrian warriors, we infiltrate tonight. We no longer have the time to slowly overtake their forces. The time is now to strike the heart of the Atrinians. We succeed or die. Ha! The room sounded in unison. Tonight, when the moon is at its highest, a group of Atrinian warriors will convene at the midpoint of Mount Ararak, at the far side of the volcano. A group of 1 Xian, 3 Xian, will ambush the front group and distract them. And me and 1 Xian and 1 Xian will flank the group, drawing in one of the Atrinians and capturing them. I will promptly bite the captured and return to the group from the captured. Dispose of the captured after I have fully introstated. Understood? Ha! The room thundered. Promptly, like clockwork, the warriors organized themselves into their respective teams and raced on into the night, running swiftly and silently into the darkness. The acrid ashen air blowing through their midnight fur as they leapt across the landscape. The ambush team stayed low to the ground as the flank team bounded across the heights of the mountains, weightlessly under the pale light of the moon. Yun Spectra. Speak, Xian Oka. The Atrenians are emerging from behind the mountains. Spectra eyed the mountain promptly. The ears of the Atrenians were spotted cresting over the lower rocks. Good, she said, narrowing her eyes. She readied herself. Alpha team, prepare to engage, she whispered down to them. They all nodded silently and started to run ahead. Spectra took a deep breath and steeled herself. She launched herself to the crest of the dark mountains effortlessly, staying low to blend into the volcanic rocks. The Alpha team in unison let out a mighty cry as they used their full force on a small team of Trinians. They fought with unwavering will and deadly ferocity, tearing into flesh and bone with calculated poise and precision. Just as the just as planned, the two wolves from the Beta team leapt from their mountains directly onto the back of the Ustrina wolves. And finally, from the highest point of the mountain, Spectra launched off it gracefully as if she could fly, and landed squarely on the rib cage of the very back Atrenian, and swiftly lunged for the neck, crushing the windpipe. She quickly dragged them away. Spectra crunched away at the Atrenian, eating what she could in the tiny window of time she had. She lowered her head, and her fur began to shimmer. Her tail swayed and shuddered as sprouts of white sparkled across until her coat was glistening white, blemished only by specks of crimson. Promptly, she hid the remaining carcass and ran back to the battlefield once. And one white wolf stood bloodied and alone. Arkor! She called out to him from the information she previously acquired. Namia, you escaped! Oh, only barely. The Umbrian that attacked me had quite the bite. Oh dear, how do you think they knew we were here? I have no clue. Anyways, let's get out of here. I'm really sorry this happened to you on your first mission, UB. I know how hard you worked just to get into the core. Spectra stirred. Her eye twitched. It's okay, Arkor. It's not your fault. Arkor faltered, and Spectra helped him to walk. The two silently walked under the moon. I'm going to take a quick drink of water. Just checking in chat, everyone still hearing me well? Cool. I shall continue. Eventually, they were led to the Ustrina village. The guards spotted them. Oh no! Ambush! Ina, call the Axum team, the leader and the medic. One guard shouted to another and hurried inside. Axum Arca, Axum Namia, are you okay? Barely. We are the only ones left, Arca answered, sputtering with a bloody cough. All right, well, we'll take you in to the medic. The two guards helped up Arkor to hobble them down into a large room. A quite tall and lean wolf ran in hurriedly. How bad is it? One said, as he moved towards Arkor, looking at his wounds. A broken leg, a broken hind leg, deep wounds to the chest, torn bites on the shoulder, and bleeding mostly from the chest, said the guards caring for Harkle. And Namia? Just minor cuts to the chest and legs, the guard responded. Another wolf bound in. Arkor! Namia! What happened? Ugh. Anor Axum. We were jumped by a bunch of Umbrians. Arkor struggled out. Jumped? Again? How is this happening? Where is everyone else? Shouted the Axum leader. Arkor just turned away with a pained expression. The leader's face turned to horror. Hurt, and then, damn it, he cried. What's going on? Deep voice resonated through the room from the entrance. General! The whole room said in unison and bound. Spectra quickly caught on. It was the chief's son, General Astra, an Atrenian with a large stature, ethereal white fur, and black spines on his back. Ocean blue eyes. As Spectra bowed, her eyes were squarely locked onto him, analyzing him and inspecting him, and completely distracting him in her gaze to understand what she needs to do. Rise, Anor Axum. What happened? Sir, a reconnaissance team was ambushed for the third time this moon, the leader shouted. These are all that's left? The general slowly looked at Arkle and then to Spectra. He stared into her with a level, unwavering gaze. He slowly walked toward her. Axum Namia. Yes, sir, Spectra answered quickly. Come with me. He turned round and immediately started to walk out. Yes, sir, she said, eyes still fastened to him. Namia. Yes, General. Recount what happened, he said in a level voice. Yes, sir. Our team, while doing regular reconnaissance, a team of Umbrians jumped us and killed most of our team. I only survived. Just one tried to fight me alone, Spectra relayed. Interesting. And it was the third time this moon. Yes, sir. Something must be happening. They are suddenly advancing at a quicker pace. However, the incidents are quite random and attaching low-level teams. Who are they looking for? What? 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 I mean, if it's so regular in person, maybe it's not what they're looking for. General Astra raised an eyebrow. They attacked 2 reconnaissance teams. In scouting team, maybe they were looking to gather information. The general looked at her. Quite smart for a rookie. She bowed lightly. Axum Namia. He got up and addressed her sternly. Yes, sir. You are now directly working for me. Understood? Sir? And don't think this was a rash decision. I've seen how hard you've been working in training, and how you got where you are. You have insight to the Umbra, and you will have to help me stop them. Yes, sir. Spectra started working for the general, becoming his right hand, and slowly started to obtain information. In her off time, she would infiltrate the main planning room and gather information on war strategies, formations, and the breakdown of the armies of Ustrina. Every so often, she would siphon some of their water and deliver it to the Zien, and relay the information back to her tribe. Most of the days were spent with the general, talking about war, and every so often, something that amused him. If we move our forces slightly northwest, we would avoid the ash clouds driven by the volcanoes and by the heat wind from the north volcanoes. The general intoned, looking up at Spectra. If we avoid that, less energy would be consumed and we'd moved quite efficiently, and your eyes are quite pretty. Wait, what? I mean, I don't know what you mean by that, sir. Sorry if it came out of nowhere. You concentrate on your formations. When you concentrate on your formations, your eyes are extremely still. So it made me notice. Uh, Yellow is quite an uncommon color, isn't it? Oh, is it? The general let out a deep sigh. I'm tired, Namia. Sir, we have been fighting this war for centuries, endlessly. People dying to no end. And yet it drones on and on. My whole life I've been fighting, bred into it, and yet, to this day, I still don't know what we are fighting for. Spectra stared at him silently. Why, Namia? I'll let you in on the secret. I don't hate the Umbrians. They're supposed to be barbarians, filled with only the will to kill, but when I look at them on the battlefield, all I see is me. Scared and just fighting for their life. Spectra sat silently, at a loss for words. Namia, do you think we could ever have peace? The general looked into the distance quietly. You can make it! Spectra shouted suddenly. What? He said, as he turned back to her. If anyone could do it, it's you, General. She stared into him with earnesty and confidence. He looked back, surprised at her words. Thank you, Namio, for entertaining my childish dreams. He went over to pat her head, and she flushed as her tail flickered behind her. She quickly turned away. Asta just smiled and chuckled. Spectre just looked at him in silence. His chuckle echoed through the room, and his bright smile burned her eyes. And as she stared, electricity shot down her spine. Well, General, I must really relay these positions to Mian. I'll see you at dawn. Goodbye. She hurried out of the room. Her general's words continued to swirl in her mind for a whole moon. What she said related to her. She didn't know herself what she was fighting for, and staying so long with the Ustrinians started to make herself question what side she was on. They were just like her, with lives, families, and happiness. Should they really have to die? The general, he just wants peace, and he thought of it as a fairy tale was how his life has been up until now. Oh, oh no. I don't think I can kill him. I think I have to tell him who I am. Spectra ran to the general. General, I have something to tell you, but it can't be here. What? Okay. Spectra grabbed him and started to run. Whoa, Namiel. She ran out without stopping to the base of the biggest volcano in Anacria. General, Spectra spouted. Just call me Asta, he responded with a smile. Uh, well, Asta, I have something to tell you. I, I, I know. Huh? You do? I feel the same. As he started to approach her, and she flushed. Wait, whoa, General, that's not... What, it's not? He began to look dejected. No, what I... She sighed. I'll just show you. She sat down, and like ash, and like ash fell on her coat, her fur started to flicker, with speckles of black, until she was finally back to her midnight coat. I'm not who you think I am. I've tricked you. And such an earnest person, you should not be associated. You're beautiful. She cut her again. Huh? What do you mean? Don't you feel betrayed? She said in utter shock. I'm kind of relieved, actually, to know that peace isn't actually an option. Huh? Spectra sat confused. I've seen you help us diligently and proudly, taking every task you do, big or small, with serious attitude and execution. Furthermore, the way we reacted to the things I said before can't be faked. He approached her again. You wretched beast! Get your rancid paws off my daughter! Father! Spectra saw Zodan approaching from atop a mountain. I could say the same about your filthy daughter. Father? Asta said with disbelief. Spectra. Spectra, you better get away from that thing right now. He must be infecting your brain with his cult-like nonsense. No! Ha! I laugh. Because we all know that your daughter is the real evil. A witch trying to take over my son and draw him into the darkness. Asta's father sneered. Why are you here, father? Spectra asked. I haven't heard from you for over a moon. I needed to find out what happened. Actual concern for your kin? Nonsense. What an act, you creature of darkness. My son runs away suddenly, so I must find him. That's all the reason I need. Lucky I did. He was being seduced by this hell's temptress. Listen, father, be quiet, Asta. Get over here, roared Asta's father. Spectra, come away from him also. He's trying. Stop! They both screamed in unison. I'm not leaving him, she growled. And I'm not leaving her. He spat. When will it end? When we have been clashing relentlessly for centuries, senselessly cutting lives short, constantly trying to one-up each other. And for what? What are we fighting for? We don't even know. Because our parents told us to do so. And so we followed mindlessly. And you did the same for your parents. And it goes on and on. For too long. We are the same. We both cry. We get jealous. We have fun. We get tired. We play. We mourn. We laugh. And we love. Asta looked back at Spectra as she said those words. Father, we love! Zodan's face wavered as his daughter cried out to him. Nonsense, nonsense, nonsense! Asta's father screamed. You are a clan of evil, and we will not take the fruit of the devil. I, Saber-Light, chief of the Ustrina, will not accept this darkness. Saber ran at full speed towards Spectra. With a powerful jump, he lunged at her, when suddenly Aster swept away his paw from his father with mighty force, slashing his eye to protect Spectra. Leave her alone! He screamed. The echo rang out through the landscape. You impudent fool! You've been seduced by the darkness, and now evil has befallen upon you. He panted as he rose from the ground. The earth started to rumble. You have eaten from the tree and fallen from grace. He spat blood onto the ground as he slowly stood upright. The sky started to roar. Sin has swallowed you whole. The earth groaned and shuddered. And Lucifer has fallen. The earth split beneath him. A horrid cry spewed from the deep. void emerged from the ground, the earth's out of the earth with furiosity. It swirled in the air for a moment, filling the sky, then suddenly soared down as it cascaded onto Saber, swallowing him into nothingness. The monster started to mold into shape, started to have form, and from billowing from its mouth, it screamed, "Malice!" The beast launched itself at the two as they threw themselves out of the way. "What do we do?" Spectra screamed as she dived out of the way of the void limb, and debris and rubble filled the air. Astra looked around to desperately for something to do. But finally, his eyes landed on her. Their eyes met, and his ocean blue eyes looked sorrowfully at hers, and her golden eyes looked back. Asta reached out to her, and she reached back. "At least we know we had peace. It is possible to come together," Asta said with feelings of resolution. Spectra intoned. "Spectra, I know. I feel the same way." The beast lunged. "One day, Anacrea will know peace, as we did," Asta said softly. "Yeah." They put their heads together. They stood at the mouth of the void. The sky split, and energy of the land rippled. Chaos drained from the land and started to circle the two. The beast bellowed, falling back from the sheer amount of power. As they opened their eyes, light sprung forth, and sorry. As they opened their eyes, light sprung forth from it as the circling chaos began to imbue itself in them. The darkness seeped out of the sky. The darkness seeped out of the sky. The endless ashen clouds finally settled, and the volcano erupted, finally breaking the seal of chaos. The beast finally rose to them and let out an unfathomable cry. "We no longer fear, as light and night have come together to quell the chaos and finally cultivate the light of this world. The end bringing forth the beginning, the night before dawn, the start of fire. Ustrina Genesis." The spinning disk of fire swirled between them as the beast lunged. Finally. But finally, the disk of fire burnt the creature to dust. Epilogue. As the seal of chaos was broken, the land as the seal of chaos was broken, the land of beasts were released. The depths were released, and they were free to roam the land. But the two were greeted by Anaf, the world dragon, who was grateful for the two for freeing them. So they made a deal. Keep all the beasts north as thanks for their freedom. You know not of the reason your people's endless quarrel seems. The two shook their heads. It all started in the time of the dragons. Before the Anaphora, all nations came from dragons, and the first of them were two families, Ustrina and Umbra. They always quarreled for frivolous things. However, things started to get tense over who would marry the finest woman of the clan. And when she died suddenly, all sides began to point fingers, filled with anger and hurt and hatred for what they had lost. And it spiraled into a frenzy of mindless hatred. And once the great beasts were sealed up, they had already lost sight of all else. Please do not fall into the same pattern of your forefathers. They nodded and vowed to him that they would live in unity. Anaf was satisfied and left with the great beasts. As the two returned with their newfound power, they quickly became the unified rulers of Anacrea. They named their newly peaceful land Natura, and the land that is the giver. Sorry, they named their newly peaceful land Natura, the land that is the giver of life. Their reign lasted thousands of years, and near the end of their reign, they would have three children, blessed with the Ustrina, the fire of chaos. And as they grew to united, as they grew to use it, they used it to unite the anaphora and moved into a new era. Ah, there we go. That is the end of Ustrina Genesis, Origin of Flame. Wow, can't speak. Well, oh, that was good. Did people enjoy that? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Haven't done this in a while. Literally years. I'm very hot in this UK room. It wasn't perfect, of course. I feel like I will release um the text somewhere, probably Tapas and maybe Tumblr afterwards as well. Um Thanks for listening, everyone. Um I haven't used the full hour, an hour and a half. Um is I feel like I didn't I talk quite fast. I was quite nervous also. Um haven't done this in a while. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. I am of course an artist. I do art. Please check out my Artist Alley channel in the Artist Alley. I have exclusive Othercon merch and stuff. And my commissions are open, of course. Um yeah, I plan to do more of Ustrina Genesis. This is actually a prequel story for the main story. It's very long. Um and yeah, very expansive. The actual story um is quite less straight than this one. um and yeah, it's a quite long story. It's not as classical as this one. This story is talking about the world of Ustrina Genesis and the past before the main story. And yeah, as the as someone as someone said in the chat, there is a lot of thought put into this lore, maybe too much, some would argue. Been creating this story for about how many years is it at this point? Probably 10 years. Um and seriously for about 5, I would say. Um it started as as a Sonic fan game um called, what was it called again? Uh it was called Sonic in the Dark Core, and it was like fan story based off of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, the old OVA. Um, and yeah, it's developed since then to now. I'd say it started around 2013, and then I started writing it properly and putting it onto Tumblr in 2017. Um, and I think I took. Did I ever took the post down? I don't think I have. My Tumblr is Bullet Da Hedgehog. I think still where my old writing is still, and I might post it on there. Maybe I'll post it on a different Tumblr. I wonder. But I do have a tapas, which has those stories on there, and I will post this story because, to be completely honest, I only finished writing it yesterday because I've been really busy this summer. Um, but yeah, I will. Um, it is not a published thing that you can buy. I will. I think I will just post it at some point after this. So stay updated in my Artist Alley channel for any links that um that pop up. My name in the Artist Alley is Arbitrarix, if you don't know. And yeah, if anyone has any more questions, we'll have like um technically my thing is an hour and a half long, and I I would love to answer any law questions if you have any. If you don't, that's fine. I'll just end it. Um, yeah. Anyone in chat want to ask any questions or ask anything? If not, I'll just end it and hope you enjoyed it. Doesn't seem doesn't seem like anyone's doesn't seem like anyone has any questions. So anyway, thank you for listening. Um, if you didn't hear at the start, I'm Arbie. Um, I'm a celestial wolf, Therian, which is a species from the story actually. And yeah, I'm an artist. I think I technically have a stream in like 15 minutes, an art stream. I don't know what I'll work on because I've just been working on this art for this story for ages, and I don't know if I have any whips. So we'll see. Um, if everyone's enjoyed that, I'll. Oh, got a question here. Um, it's not an odd question to ask. How long did it take to get the illustrations done? Um, individually, one would take 45 minutes to an hour because I tried to get these out as quickly as possible because there's a lot of panels to it, and I didn't actually create as many panels as I wanted to. There was supposed to be uh a panel depicting Spectra as she transforms. There was supposed to be a panel with the fight with um Asta's dad with the void. Um yeah, and just a lot of in between ones that I didn't get to finish. Um because I've been busy. But yeah, it took like about an hour. Hour minimum for each, I would say, because I didn't do a lot of shading. I just used a lot of layer modes and some filters and stuff. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed them. Um, anyone else have any questions? Be very happy to answer them. Yeah, sure, it's totally fine. Do like interacting, and also I'm fairly new to the um to the alter human community only joined around 2018, 2019 ish. Um, yeah, quite new to it in terms of other people that have been in this community and that's been hosting panels. And yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed what I could bring to the table. I thought it'd be good to read off some of my stories and um as they're quite animal focused and stuff. Oh right, right. I said they ruled for 1,000 years. So basically, when when these creatures are from times of old, as it were, and had much longer lifespans. Um, yeah, and then once Spectra and Astar consume the chaos of the land, it 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 like times their lifespan by a lot. So um yeah, it extended their lifespan because they consumed the chaos, and that the chaos is a lot of power. So yeah, it made them into celestial walls. So if you heard at the start, I used the prefix. Was it? I forgot. I forgot already. I only wrote this. I only finished writing this yesterday. Um, I used the prefix Astra walls, which is they're they're not quite immortal, and they will live for a few hundred years. And once they have consumed the chaos, they have gone to celestial walls, and they they have the power of Celestia, which is like stars and stuff. So they live for thousands of years now. Got 10 minutes at least. Oh, thank you. The I'm yeah, sorry. Um, yeah, I this story. Um, a lot of the story, I wanted to create it with a kind of mystical but almost tangible feel. It it is yeah, it is it. You say here that it's like a creation myth. Um, it kind of was. It was and wasn't at the same time. When I went into this, um, it was to set the like to establish the world of Ustrina Genesis, and also the plot points that I created almost like gave off like how the world was created, like according to um their time in that world, because it is not, obviously it's not our Earth. It's a world far away in the universe, far away, etc., etc. um and yeah, like um the land being like filled with chaos was their land was molten and full of fire and stuff. So it kind of relates to like how our Earth was like millions of years ago, when it was just like a fiery ball of molten lava and stuff. And then once they quelled the chaos, it like subdued all of that, and like it's like the Earth becoming habitable and such. So yeah, it kind of was a creation myth in the way that I set it up. And yeah, I try to be the perks of being British TM. I can use my accent to make it sound quite epic of without, and without knowing any other words to use for that. So yeah, I tried to make it as interesting as I could. Yeah, and this is the first time I'm writing in a while, doing creative writing. Um, yeah, I used to write all the time. Before I was an artist, I did writing. Um, and yeah, I really enjoy doing that sort of stuff and enjoy reading it to you guys. So I think I won't take up too much more. Thanks for enjoying the story. Um, please feel free to DM me at any time for any info or artist requests or commissions. I'm open for commissions, etc., etc. And yeah, thank you for listening. Hope everyone has a great rest of their con. Bye bye.